Hello there, this is DBT and these are the rooms. And alright, let's continue playing some more Asphalt 8. And today, I'm gonna be doing a multiplayer pro test, or should I say, ultimate test, of the car that you see on the screen right now. And that is of course, the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolut. Oh yeah, one of the two best cars of the game. I finally own it and today I'm gonna test it out. But before I jump into it, if you enjoy my content, please hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel, because doing that helps the channel to continue to grow, and in that way I can continue making this Asphalt 8 content for you. So go ahead, like and subscribe. But alright, so what is the deal with this? Well, you know that this car is currently, well, by the time that this video is out, I think the event, or this portion of the event has ended, but this car was available in the Chrome Marauder event. I already made a video talking about it. I'll put the link in the top right if you want to watch that, where I explain the whole thing. And actually, in that video, I show you how I was able to unlock this car. Not exactly for free, though. Fortunately, it didn't cost me any money, but still, I show you that it was relatively easy to do if you were willing to put some money on it. Not that I'm advising anybody to put money on the game, just saying what it was or how it was. But now that it's here, now that I own it, I have to test it. Now, in case you don't know anything about this car, well, it's a Class S car. In fact, for a while, it was the absolute, no pun intended, absolute highest ranked car in the entirety of the game at 1864. Class S used to end at 1862. However, when they introduced this car, it was the first one to just go over it and still compete with that same bracket. So that should tell you that indeed this was meant to be the king of the game. And having a look at the stats, as I always say, you can't really tell too much from the stats themselves. The acceleration is not exactly accurate. I've shown you in other cases. For example, the Arash AF10 says that it has a lower acceleration than this, but that is absolutely not true. So I don't know what to make of this acceleration. However, what we can figure out from these stats is the fact that as many ultimate cars, which I didn't mention, but it's an ultimate car, meaning you don't have to upgrade it. It already comes out like this, only without the tuning kit. But basically it has a higher base top speed than regular or other cars in the same rank. Normally cars would have a 440 something kilometers an hour. This goes much faster by default. However, that makes, or rather that's balanced out by the fact that the nitro is not as high as other cars. But at the end of the day, when you add the top speed plus nitro, you end up having a car that goes about as fast as all the others. But the fact that it has a higher base top speed does have some advantages for when you're running low on nitro, maybe a little bit on the drift speed and things like that. Then there is the handling, which, to be fair, someone pointed out recently to me that you can kind of figure out something from this number alone. It does kind of tell you whether or not the handling is low or high. In this case, it's relatively high, so yes. That is the stats of the car. Now, obviously, what matters is testing it out in multiplayer, and well, you know, DBT does have skill issues, so let's see how this goes. Now, the very first thing that I want to say about this video and me driving this car is I feel kind of dirty. I don't like driving super powerful cars. I don't like driving metas, because to me, that's not how I have fun in games. But then again, for the sake of making this video and testing it out, well, here we go. We're going to be playing with the car. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that currently there's a car, that one, that has an even higher rank than mine, and that is the, or rather, this car. This one is 1864. The Hennessy Venom F5 is nowadays the current quote-unquote king of the game at a rank of 1865. One rank above this one, but hey, how much better is it than this one? Honestly, I don't know, because I really, since I acquired this car some days ago, I really haven't played much with it. I played it, oh god, in multiplayer, a couple of races with the car, and actually my very first race in multiplayer that I did with this car ended up being a W. So that was like, oh man, it's really powerful. But nah, it's more about luck, you know how this works. But really, I don't have a lot of experience with this car, so this video, as much as I want to say that it's a pro test or ultimate test because of the rank being ultimate, whatever, you know. It's really more like a first impressions of the car rather than anything else. And probably at some other point in the future, I might end up doing another video on this car once I have a bit more experience with it. But that is assuming that I'm going to be playing more with it, which doesn't seem like it, but hey. First race and I got a 4th place. Some things didn't go fantastic, but hey, got defeated by a Senna GTR, Bolide, and a Bayan. All of these very strong cars. But I did defeat the Apex and a GTR, a Reventon, Bolide. Oh, the Venom is not doing fantastic. Jesko Absolut, and an Aventador SV. All right, that I don't know that this tells us anything about the performance of the car, but hey. Now, oh, look at that. There's Tiani over there. Very nice. That's a Vroomer with the Vroomy jacket, so why not? But, okay. Man, I am conflicted about this car. That's basically how I'm gonna put it. Simply because, like I just mentioned in the previous race, I don't like driving really powerful cars. But on top of that, thanks to the Chrome Marauder event, we're gonna see a very considerable influx of Jesko Absolutes in the game. Now, this being one of the strongest cars in theory in the game, well, obviously that's something that everybody would like to drive, right? It's like, oh my god, it's so good, and this and this and that. So people we're going for the car, and there were people who, thankfully, were able to unlock the car in a free-to-play fashion. You know, that is fantastic. I did mention that was definitely a possibility. But there's also people, maybe like myself, that went pay to win. Like I said, I didn't actually have to spend money on it because I did have vouchers from being a content creator, but the basic idea is the same, that it was through a premium method, basically, to get it. But either way, the point that I'm making here is that there's going to be a lot more Absolutes in the game now than they were a couple of weeks ago. And obviously, like I said, it's fantastic that people are able to unlock this car and whatnot, and especially the free ones and all of that good stuff. Oh, look at that, there's another Absolute over there. But yeah, that's gonna make it a little bit more common, and this is a car that has been really rare for a long time because it has only really been available through treasure rushes, in which you have a ridiculously low percentage chance of getting it through luck, or you have to pay 150 bucks in order to unlock it, which not a lot of people were gonna do anyway. Okay, that's gonna be a second place. I'd get defeated by an Absolute. Now, it seemed that it was driven better than mine, though at some points it was going a bit too fast, but I don't know, it could just be my idea, who knows. Let me know if this looks like a proper time. To be fair, I mean, you know, I'm not a fantastic driver, so hey, look at Tiani driving the Venom GT. Lovely stuff. Alright, so that's what I defeated. Look at that, 2 more Absolutes over there. There were 4 Absolutes in this race. This is not something that you would see often. And at the end of the day, I've said before that in general the cars in this game are balanced in a way where even the best cars in the game are better than the regular ones by a little bit. Now, yeah, are they objectively better than other cars? Yeah, for sure. But in general, the cars are so closely balanced that you can still get a pretty good result. So that is alright. But if we start seeing a crazy influx of Jesko Absolute, what we're gonna end up with is a case similar to the... Obviously, this might be a bit of an exaggeration. On this 1680 bracket with the spam list, you know that is an incredibly powerful car, and holy mother of everything that it's holy to you. You see so many of them. They're so spam, they're so annoying. Oh god, it's terrible. And now that there was a chance to get the Absolute quite a bit, well, relatively easy. It wasn't really easy, okay? I don't want to make it sound like, oh yeah, it was so easy, but you know what I'm saying, right? A much easier way than paying $150. Then I am afraid that we're indeed gonna see a much higher influx of these cars, and oh boy, that might just make this bracket insanely annoying. Venom F5 is one of these highly colored names. Sure, 300 plus, a couple of Absolute, a bunch of Faradays, and yeah, you start seeing now kind of what I was being afraid. Start seeing the spam of the better cars. Now, to be fair, you're always gonna find Hennessy Venoms, you're always gonna see Faradays and all of that, but now the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolute is joining that because, well, you know, there was a chance to get it. So anyway, basically all I want to say over here in terms with this, or in terms when it comes to this car and all of that stuff, I'm just afraid that we're gonna see a lot more Absolutes now, and that is gonna ruin a little bit the experience in multiplayer in this bracket, but I could be wrong. Maybe we're not gonna see as many. We'll see how it goes. Still, by the time I'm recording this video, I'm recording it on a Sunday before this multiplayer series ended. So that's why I said that by the time that the video actually comes out on Monday, you should be watching this on a Monday, I think not only the multiplayer series ended, but I believe that also the Chrome Marauder event will also have ended at least a section of the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolute. Because I think after that there's gonna... Ooh, I'm so sorry for the knockdown, buddy. I believe after that there's gonna be a different car in the promo material that GameLove released for the Chrome Marauder event. They mentioned 3 cars, being... Oh, I was supposed to force a barrel, but okay. The Jesko Absolute, the 300 plus, and I think a Lamborghini. If I remember correctly, it was the Huracan Evo Spider. I'm not sure, but either way. So yeah, probably the chance to acquire this car will be over by the time that this video is out, but still, you know, I didn't make a video talking about it, so yeah. Look at that, there's another Absolute. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. I see more Absolutes. I don't like it. Now that's enough yapping of the rarity of the car and whether or not it's gonna be spammed and this and that. No. Let's start talking a little bit about the performance of the car. And for that, we're gonna start with the Spiral Drift Test. Let's see how this thing drifts. Honestly, I have no clue, so let's check it out. All right. Focus DBT, do a decent one, and here we go. All right. It is not super sharp. Okay. Oh, Jesus, what am I doing with the controllers here? Attempt number 2. That was pretty bad. Let me retry. Jesus. Okay, attempt number 2 proper. Let's see if I can do it a little bit closer to the wall. All right, yeah, like I said, it's not an incredibly sharp drift, but it's obviously not bad in any way, shape, or form. And in the opposite direction as well, because you know that I like testing it here, even though it always fails assisted, but it's fine. Get out of the way, Tushek. Here we go. Let's see how it does over here. It normally tends to perform better. All cars tend to perform better in the drift here. All right, and if not, at the very least, it looks cooler. Now, for the time to wall test, I'm trying to find a car that I can out-accelerate cleanly, but I can't. All of them get a little bit in the way and push me a tiny little bit. So we're just gonna assume that this is gonna be a clean test and just roll with it because, hey. But that actually is a good thing to talk about when it comes to the performance of this car. Or really of any of the kings of the game, I suppose. What? It got more on the way. What the heck was that? Okay, come on. Why am I accelerating worse this time around? What's going on? I'm telling you, no matter what car it is, they just keep on getting in the way. I decided to try with other vehicles as well, but hey. That wasn't too bad, so I think that's as good as that's gonna get. But no worries, because we're also gonna test it in Gate Drift, where the time counts backwards, but still there's no opponent, so this is as clean a test as it's gonna get. So, yes. There we go. But before we go any further into multiplayer, I do want to show you the color options for the car because it does have a bunch and they're kind of cool, to be honest. The default color, it's this one. What is this? I mean, technically black, but you know, it's supposed to be carbon and all of that. It does have some nice orange accents here and there, so it looks fine, but you know, I don't love cars in super dark colors. We got it also in red, silver. Let me select it. Silver. We got it. It's actually like slightly bluish silver, or it's just regular silver? No, I think it's regular silver. Orange, green, and that's a peculiar tone of green, a little bit, I don't know what even to call it. And white, blue, and this yellow, which actually I don't like very much. It's fine, but you know, I like a slightly more orangey yellow, so I might as well commit to the orange. But there's also this decal that you can buy for 200 vouchers. Otherwise, I think at some point you could buy it straight up for money without, you know, having to buy the vouchers first. But yeah, I don't have it. I don't care for it, to be completely honest. How about we drive it in orange? You know that was gonna happen. Of course I was gonna drive it in orange. Ooh, and the game is like, well, now you're gonna test the drift, but in real time against other players. Let's see how it goes. But I know what you're thinking. DBT, cut the yapping. Just tell me, is the car good or not? I don't know. That is basically it. I can understand that it is considered one of the kings of the game for a reason, right? Like in general, the overall performance of the car, it's really, really good. But I am not the type of player that is skilled enough to be able to tell you exactly where this car excels. Because from what I play with it, it is a good car, for sure. But is it absolutely, no pun intended, amazing? I don't know. I don't know where this car shines. And that is exactly what I wanted to talk about when I was mentioning the acceleration and all of that. And the whole thing that I've said about the cars being balanced very close to one another. I think what makes this car so strong to be one of the kings of the game is the total sum of its part. Like, it goes pretty fast, yes. It also has the high top speed, yes. It probably drifts okay-ish, yes. It probably accelerates pretty good-ish, okay, yes. You know, it's everything. Like, overall, I don't know that this car excels at one single thing. I don't know that it's the king of, whoa, first place, of one single thing, but overall, all of its parts end up adding up to a really strong car. Let's see what I beat. Oh, look at that. Oh, top 3 Jeskos. Actually, that's gonna look cool in the podium. Let's have a look at that. Look at us. Look at us. Top 3 Jeskos. I mean, not that I should be super proud of getting W's with a very strong car, but hey. Now, of course, there's still a lot of room for someone to drop by and correct me and be like, DBT, you're actually wrong, because this car, what it has is the absolute, again, no pun intended, the best I don't know, airspeed recovery of the entire game, or maybe the best nitro duration in the entire game. No, actually, the acceleration is the best, something like that, right? I've said it a million times, I'm incredibly subjective in how I judge things. I don't go and do the proper measurements and all of that. I tell you how it feels, and what I can tell you about this car is that it doesn't feel to me like, whoa, this is so infinitely better than any of the other cars that I have driven in all of this time that I've been playing the game. Like I said, I can understand that the total sum of its parts may make it indeed into one of the best cars in the game, but it's not like in driving this instantly you're gonna be getting W's. Now, I did get a W in the previous race, and if I don't mess it up in this one, oh Jesus! If I don't mess it up in this one, which I was about to do, I might run away with another one. But still, as I always say, even the best cars will not make up for skill issues, as it's clearly being shown right now. Oh, Jesus. Hold on, let me focus and see if I can get a W. Oh yeah, no, actually he fell behind somehow. Let's go. Funny me talking about the car is not amazing, and I proceed to get 2 W's in a row, but hey, you know, as I always say, multiplayer is a lot about luck, and that is something else that I wanted to mention about this car in terms of the performance, and yeah, you know, who is actually going to be able to make the most of this car? That's a red flag, red flag! Okay, I got 2 W's in one video with this car, so that should tell you that indeed it do be kind of strong. Actually, this might be one of the first times that I'm approaching the 2500 rank. That's alright. 110, Venom 5, 2 Sheks, Centenario, Batista, Faraday, Absolut. Alright, fair enough. And in me saying that this car is not that much better than all the other cars in the class, or at least of the considerably good ones, you might be wondering, but DBT, I go into TLE leaderboards and I see that it's dominated by a lot of Absolut and Venom F5s. Again, I cannot talk about the Venom F5 because I don't own it, never played with it. But you get the idea of what I'm saying, right? It's, oh, but I see so many of them. How can you say that this is not that much better? And that's what I'm trying to say. The total sum is probably indeed a really, really, really good car. But really, the people who are going to be able to make the most of this car to really take the advantage or make use of that additional performance that this car has over every other car in the game are going to be the type of players who are just, you know, super aliens in the game that really, really know how to squeeze every single little bit of performance of the car and understand like, oh, actually because the recovery of this car is better than that other car, I can do this jump and that other jump and I'll gain 0.016 seconds, or rather 16 milliseconds or whatever, right? It's that type of people who are going to be able to make the most out of this type of car, and that is fantastic. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but a regular Joe like myself, nah, I don't know, it's not going to make much of a difference. Yeah, I'm getting some middling results, but that's the case with any car that I drive, so does that really say anything about the performance of this car? I don't know. I do see that top 4 were just the kings of the game, so make of that what you will. And that's kind of why I was saying that this is more like my first impression of the car, because I only acquired it recently. And I do want to eventually come back to this and maybe give you more thoughts on the car, I don't know, in a couple of months from now, once I played more with it. That is, if I actually get to play with it, because I don't know, I don't feel super comfortable driving these very, very powerful cars. I tell you, I'm special when it comes to that. But I know you're thinking, DBT, for the love of whatever, is the car good? What is it about? Okay. I will tell you, I would say it in this way, and I could be wrong about this, keep that in mind, but acceleration seems good. Handling seems good. Nitro duration seems good. Drifting seems good. I don't feel that it's insane at any one of those things, but again, all of them as a whole make for a very good balanced car. But once again, I could be wrong, and maybe the nitro is actually way above average. Maybe the recovery speed is way above average. Maybe the raw top speed is way above average. Things like that, right? But in general, like I said, for a player like myself that is not a super alien or anything, this doesn't feel all that much different than other cars and classes that I'm driving. And I'm not even talking about like, oh, a Bugatti Bolide or a Koenigsegg Jesko, the regular one. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, oh, Jesus Christ! I'm talking about, you know, the regular cars that I drive in 1861, for example. So yeah, I am not the most objective when it comes to judging cars, and like I said, I will probably end up revisiting this car to try to figure out if over time I find what the car really is about. But for the meantime, well, I own it, it's cool, it's in the garage, and maybe Maybe sometimes you will see me driving it. If you see me driving this thing, please don't hate me. It's for science. I don't care about getting W's. I just want to learn what this car is about. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Hit the like button. If you want to get a heart and a pin on this video, you need to leave the key phrase, which for today is going to be: even the best cars in the game can make up for lack of skill. First person to post it, the heart, the pin, you know how this works. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.